you invaded Malvine Islands, you invaded Gibraltar. Get out from those territories. It's a long argue.
So the Falkland Islands, there's a referendum. There's a referendum in the Falkland Islands where they wanted to be. I think it was like 95% wanted. They wanted to be part of Britain. They're part of Britain.
Wow. What is the difference between Malvine Islands referendum and Crimea referendum?
Well,
would you tell me?
Day 3 of Donald Trump, and he still hasn't stopped the war in Ukraine. He had promised to finish it in just under 24 hours. Actually, he didn't even mention Ukraine once in his inauguration address. He was on Fox News last night. He wasn't asked about it at all. But there is some signs of tougher talk. In a Truth Social post yesterday afternoon, Trump vowed taxes, tariffs and sanctions on Russia if there's no peace deal to end the war in Ukraine soon. Could that change Russia's course? Well, let's get the Russian perspective. We're joined by Evgeny Popov, a Russian TV host and an MP in the pro-Kremlin United Russia Party. Evgeny, good morning to you.
Good morning.
How worried are you by what Donald Trump is saying about the threats of taxes, tariffs and sanctions?
Thank you for giving me your floor. Good morning to everybody. The world has changed, and Trump cannot do anything with Russia, with the Russian people, with my country's economy. And if he knows, if he familiar with the roots and reasons for this tough and terrible conflict, as well as he knows World War II history, it will be a long and difficult dialogue with him.
Do you think actually that do you feel that actually you've been sanctioned as a country? Do you feel there's anything America could do much to change your economy at the minute? That's what Trump's saying, that if you don't come to the table, he will affect your economy in a negative way.
Okay. What Trump told us that he will do new sanctions on our economy, on our trade, but please tell Trump how much trade between Moscow and Washington is now. You know the number? I will tell you, it's about $300 million, which means nothing. He can do anything with our economy, and he knows it, and his administration knows it, because all sanctions he can he already introduced against Russia. And it's stupid to think that our economy is only oil and gas. Last year, we supplied with $1 billion equipment, electronics, engines to India, to Egypt, to China, of course. That's why it's not the argument from
Trump.
From Trump.
So Evgeny, he wants to get you to the table, and he's said that.
We are ready to do it.
So go on. So how much appetite is there in Russia for a negotiated settlement with Ukraine?
Our message is clear, and Putin announced their conditions for ending the war in the summer. It's simple, it's clear. Get out of our territory. No NATO in Ukraine. Neutral status for Ukraine. This security guarantees for Russian people, and we will achieve them.
Are you willing to get out of their territory in return? Are you willing to get out of Ukrainian territory in return?
Don't live in a world of myths. So read our constitution and read the history books. That is our territory right now. And,
it's not a word of a meme. It's just, I mean, by almost any other definition, Ukraine is a sovereign country into which you invaded, Evgeny. We can pretend we can have a conversation where you pretend that didn't happen, but it doesn't make it any the less true that that's a part of the world that your troops marched into. That just is a thing that the world saw.
again, don't live in a world of myths. And
it's a world of facts, Evgeny. Facts, not memes.
The world of myths, because the main thing, and we all must clearly understand that neither Trump or Zelensky or Starmer or you or the West can decide the fate of the war, of this war and this conflict. Everything depends solely on Russian soldier who is advancing right now. Russian soldier are
North Korean soldiers as well,
advancing right now and defending our freedom and independence on the battlefield.
Are you defending your freedom by invading another country?
You invaded Malvine Islands, you invaded Gibraltar. Get out from those territories. It's a long argument.
So the Falkland Islands, there's a referendum. There's a referendum in the Falkland Islands where they wanted to be. I think it was like 95% wanted. They wanted to be part of Britain. They're part of Britain.
Wow. What is the difference between Malvine Islands referendum and Crimea referendum?
Well,
would you tell me?
The point is that we didn't invade the Falkland Islands, and also the other point is that Ukrainian.
Oh, really?
So why is it? So if this is the case, why is the Ukrainian fighting you? If the Ukrainians just want you to be there, why has there been a war for the last 2 years?
Why is Argentina fighting you? Why is Argentina fighting you?
Well, it's not, is it? It's not. There's not a war with Argentina. There's a war with Ukraine. The Ukrainians are fighting you, Evgeny, because you've invaded their territory. That's why there's a war.
Because you and NATO occupied Ukraine.
How did we occupy Ukraine? How's NATO occupied Ukraine? In what way?
Okay. Our main goal is, I told you before, is security guarantees for Russian people. Because you, the West, NATO, moved your infrastructure, military infrastructure, to our borders closer and closer, and you now are threatening to Russian security, to Russian people, and we must defend our territory and our people. It's simple.
Okay, just one last thing, Evgeny. The front page of the Times this morning is about a British submarine getting into an exchange with a Russian ship loitering near undersea cables. The Defence Secretary stood up in Parliament yesterday and said, "I wanted President Putin to hear this message. We see you, we know what you're doing, and we will not shy away from robust action to protect this country." He's effectively saying, we see you committing espionage in British waters. What do you say to that?
I know nothing about the situation. I just read a Finnish newspaper from Finland, and Finland's journalists told us that Russian ships did nothing with the cable in the Baltic Sea, and we don't need to do it. We didn't blow up our cable and gas pipe in the Baltic, and it's not our way to make business with the West.
Okay, Evgeny, good to speak to you. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
Bye.
That is Evgeny Popov. He's a Russian TV host, MP in the pro-Kremlin United Russia Party. Thinks NATO is occupying Ukraine. The war is an act for Russian freedom. You've heard those arguments before. What's very striking is that how hard a negotiation... I mean, what that maybe reveals, if it reveals anything, is just how hard a negotiation is going to be. And he also says Trump can't do anything to our economy because we do deals with China, we do deals with Egypt, we do deals with other parts of the world, says Evgeny Popov.